Hello, everyone. This is JP with Unscripted with JP. I wanted to take a minute today to talk about something that has been on my mind. Um, but before I get to that, let me still enlighten people. This is not something that I'm doing, this is another outlet that I am doing. I spend a majority of my time doing field work. I think with me and having positions in the military and the mid-level management world and just daily interactions with people, I've always been able to be expressive and give some advice and some insight to people. Because at the end of the day, I think we all have experiences. I think we all have a mentality to help for the most part, and there are also some gradients of positivity that may be looked at as gatekeeping. I'm not one of those people. Okay, I do believe that we all have an element of advisement that we can share. So, in essence of that, I think we all should have an unscripted with so and so and so and so's name attached to it, because the media space is broad enough that we all can share in. And I think it's just for me to be able to give a component of thought that makes everything worthwhile for me. So, for my message today, again, this is the nervous portion of me. I mean, you're raw, you're exposed, and people need to see that from that standpoint and the place that we're coming from. I think it's a place of trueness and a essence of goodwill. So with that being said, a lot of the things that have been going on in our lives, I won't say in the world, but specifically to how I see the United States. I still see a country full of great people. I still see people who really are at the forefront of trying to build something positive. I see families doing it. My family is doing it. I see so many good things. But I also see some things that are divisive, as we all do. And one of the things I think that will help us with that is something that you don't see talked about in the media space often. That is kindness. Okay. It matters not what side you're on if you lead with an element of understanding, because we all want to feel appreciated. Number two, we definitely want to be understood. And I think that is a good place to start. And again, there are a lot of people that hate to touch certain elements of right and wrong. Well, we all are humans. And so why should we have to worry about this side or that side? Because at the end of the day, we're all losing if we're not seeing the baseline of understanding. And that's just how I see it. I could choose to be in my space and leave the woe is me people to themselves, but I definitely want to contribute to the greater good of our society. That's from down to how I leave here and present myself, the willingness to help, to give a hand up and not a handout, because I think we all have the capacity and capability to help others, but for those who can't, we need to be able to lead them to the direction to give them help. So with that being said, I just want to add something, and I kind of wrote these notes down this morning, and it basically says, and this is in my journal, okay, so it's real time. Let me ask you something. When was the last time somebody was genuinely kind to you? Not because they needed something from you, not because there was an audience watching. They were just kind. Maybe they held the door. Maybe they called you when you were having a difficult day. Maybe someone looked you in the eyes and said, "Are you okay?" And actually waited for the answer. We live in a world where everybody seems to be moving fast. Everybody's busy. Everybody has somewhere to go. Everybody has something they're dealing with. And because of that, I think sometimes we underestimate one of the most powerful things one human being can give another, and that's kindness. So I definitely wanted to spend a few minutes talking about my journal. And I'm really excited about it. Um, One of the reasons kindness is important is because you just don't know what somebody's carrying. You just don't know their weight, right? You know, we can all look at somebody's like, I'm okay, I'm great, I'm this, I'm that. But what about the person that's serving your food? What about the bailsman that is allowing you to park? And, what about the boss or the mid-level manager that's having some difficulties? Sometimes just an act will help balance that load, even if it's just momentarily, right? And it only takes a few seconds, right? And I used to know a good friend that would always say I wouldn't reach out daily, and they would say it only takes 3 seconds. 3 seconds can change a person's world depending on what time of day it is. So we just want to be mindful, understand what weight that person is carrying. I think another one is as we've said in the past, don't take my kindness for, you got it, weakness. But somewhere along the lines, kindness has always been confused with weakness for some reason. And I've never thought that way, but we all have some issue with people that's showing way too much emotion, right? And yes, we don't want people to think it's easily to get inside of our boundaries. But again, kindness is not a weakness, in my opinion. Okay, I want to be clear with that. Maybe people have some paradigms or reasonings to say that. In my opinion, to me, kindness is not a weakness. And again, not to convince anybody, I just think it's a higher standard of emotion. We may not want to see that in different gradients of people, but for me, I don't think it is. And I think one is kindness is patience. Being patient with our spouse, being patient with our children, being patient with service people, being patient with our coworkers, and being patient with our friends as well. Okay, and anybody else you maybe want to be patient with one of your favorite athletes or favorite TV show. I don't know, but we should appreciate all things because I think we all wake up to do a good job. I think it's less deviousness in the world than it is people that are really, really trying to do great things in this world. But also, one of the things that I wrote was kindness does not need access. And it doesn't mean that because I'm kind to you that I'm giving you access to me. That's just another side to the conversation, right? And in my journal, I said, you can have a good heart and still have boundaries. You can forgive somebody and decide they can no longer participate in your life. So those are for those people who just mean you no good, okay? There's a counterbalance to this. Kindness doesn't mean allowing disrespect, right? That's where the weakness thing comes in, I think. But I think overall, learning sometimes the best way to be kind is to say no. And that is a very powerful two-letter word, right? Because it creates that boundary. And lastly, like I said, you have to be kind to yourself. You owe that so much for yourself to just be kind for numero uno, okay? Whatever your relationship and your spirituality, right? From how you feed yourself, mentally and physically. What do all those elements mean to you, okay? But again, let's just look at those things that has happened to me over the course of my awareness in life. I always call it welcome to humanity. Welcome to humanity. Maybe you trusted the wrong person. Maybe you stayed somewhere too long. Maybe you wasted some money. Maybe you missed an opportunity. And last, maybe you hurt somebody. Okay. Own it, learn from it, receive it, and make it right within your own heart. Okay. Because all of those things that grow you requires what? Accountability. And sometimes growth also requires space. So you can learn. Okay. So I think that is a good trivial spot to just add some credence of thought for you and the listeners to think about. And again, I wanted to absorb some of the reasoning why I want to do what I want to do, but I also think it starts with kindness. And I think that is a great place to build a foundation along with a few other ingredients that I can talk to. Because to get where I am, where I think I'm in a pretty decent place in life, because number one, I stay out of everybody's business. I stay out of everybody's way. And I only give advice when I feel I'm willing to stand behind it. So I'm just not throwing things out. And it's not something that I do. If I didn't believe kindness was a great foundation, I wouldn't be talking about it now. Okay? So we don't have to talk about any, gender, color, faith, religion, affiliations, and, all that other stuff. Because if we're kind, it really, to me, it doesn't matter. I have found myself, in neighborhoods that, because I was kind and respectful, I got more help out of some spots that I shouldn't have been in than places that I knew I would be taken care of in. So with that being said, again, I hope this is helping somebody. Again, with the faith of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. So I'm just hoping that I can help one person. That's truly what really matters, right? And I hope that that multiplies through sharing, liking, commenting, because we all can learn, right? And no matter how much you promote the message, this possibly could be looked at as offensive. So I want to learn from that too. Okay, and the way we learn is we express the approach, and I'll learn along the way. Okay, so I will immediately apologize to those in the social media space who feels that this message doesn't apply. But feel free to comment that. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Because this platform will grow. Because there's a lot of things that I do that I like to share. And also, I do voice acting. So, but that's on a different topic, okay? So there are a lot of things that I do. I think meditation's good. I like to give, some real big beneficial things from a standpoint of how you rest and relaxation, to how you need to approach your day, right? Every time you wake up is not necessarily positive, right? Sometimes you have to figure out how to inject that positivity into yourself. And hopefully I can share some of those tidbits with you as well. Because every day is not a great day for me either. Okay, so just want to make sure that's we throw that out there. But I definitely want this challenge to be inspirational. But I also want to learn from you all out there. And sometimes it's those voices and those people who take the time to help me with this journey as well. So I can definitely see it. I'm nervous. I'm excited. But it takes me out of the field and giving the ability to help the masses. And we're only going to grow that one person at a time. So I really appreciate it. Thanks for your time. Again, like, comment, share, subscribe. And, let's get out here and grow it. And another thing, as we reach milestones, for those who share and help grow, I got a litany of shoes. I like to do drawings because the thing is the more that's given, the more I can give back, okay? So this is not just a prop. This is appreciation as well. And, in some cases, drawings and other things can be looked at in the future as we grow this channel. Again, one person, If we did one person a day, that's 300, right? 360, right? And I do believe that this platform has a lot to offer because I'm going to also take cues and advisement from those who watch it, okay? And as this thing grows, I think the benefit would be to me because I would love to see everybody factor in to give me something that's going to grow me beyond as well because I got a lot of questions too. So, at any rate, I can take a deep breath. I've only done about maybe 6 or 7 of these, and but I'm going to commit to doing more. So, but also what I've said today, I'm going to take it out in the field. I'm going to go to a restaurant today, and I'm going to exude kindness, and I hope you do too. All right, people. You all take care. Have an amazing day wherever you are. Okay. So take care.